Hey you. Yeah, you over there. I just wanted to say this video has been split into two parts. So if you notice that at one point I'm doing my makeup and suddenly it's done, that is why. If you would like to see the other part of this video, stay tuned for next week, which is when I will drop the other part of this video. I just said that. Anyway, enjoy. Goodbye. Good? Are we crooked? I'm feeling like we're a little crooked. I love how whenever I'm trying to film videos on Saturday, that's when people just want to be outside my house. What are you doing? Let it do what it wants. Let it do what it wants. Let it do what it wants. What's up, guys? It is Ashley. Unfortunately, you don't see me enough on here, and I feel bad. But today I thought I would make a really chill video because I'm caffeinated, and it's Saturday, and it's the first day of spring, which means you know, I got my allergy pills and my eye drops on standby. It's right here. But happy spring, everybody. I thought today I would literally do nothing. I'm just gonna literally put makeup on my face and chill and talk about whatever, which I used to do back in the day. I used to just make makeup videos mostly and just talk or do tutorials. And I mean, you can see as you look at my channel that I kind of let that go just because I don't really care to do that. But I thought I would just go back to my roots. I'm gonna be fixing my hair a lot because it's doing a thing, as well as my skin. As you can see, my skin's doing a thing. Okay, let's kick it. Okay, so my makeup brush is bouquet, as I like to call it. I have a lot of hair on my face. So random to start with that, but I do. And I know everybody has hair on their face, but like mine I feel is relatively dark because as you can see I have sideburns that I don't shave because I actually quite like my sideburns, to be honest. But as you can see I have a lot of hair here, which is like what my kitchen I think is called, and then it comes over here and you can see it. It's not like it's skin tone, if you get what I mean. The hair on my face is dark, so you see it. And I know some women do shave that. Personally, I don't think I can do that because I have sensitive skin on my face, so I can't really get away with like shaving that because I will break out like crazy. It'll be a hot mess. So I'm just wondering if I care to get rid of it. I don't know if I do, but if I care to, what would I do? Because I thought about like the Nair that's for your face, but a long time ago I tried that once and I broke out like crazy, so I don't know. But it doesn't really bother me that much. It's not life altering, so who actually cares? Anyway, let's go with the primer. I think one big thing to talk about right now is why I'm literally never on here. I work more hours than I ever used to. It doesn't bother me too much. It bothers me that I can't be super active on YouTube, but I think I'm hopeful that I will eventually be back to making videos regularly. And to the people who still watch my videos, even though I'm not the most consistent, I do appreciate that. I'm literally only 22 and I can already feel a difference between when I was a teenager, but I feel like that's obvious. One thing that I had said, I think I told Julie this, I think I did, I don't remember, but I was like, life was far less complicated when we were still in grade school. You know, it was like the second I left high school, life just wasn't really that easy anymore. And it's just interesting to think about it that way because, you know, when you're in high school, you have your own troubles, you have your own problems. And so you're thinking like, dang, like I'm going through it. And like perhaps you are based on where you're at in life, but life gets a whole lot more stressful as you keep aging. It doesn't get easier. But at the same time, I'm grateful for it. If anything, I love the idea of constantly moving forward, of just keep going, you know? I never like to turn back. I don't like doing that. I like to just keep moving forward because different things happen in your life that grow you, but you also know you do not want to re-experience. So girl, I don't miss that place at all. I don't miss school in general. Also, this is something I wanted to say, right? Because I realize I tend to say that I don't like school. I tend to say that a lot. And I don't mean for that to come off as so privileged and first worldly. It definitely does because like not everybody gets the opportunity to even go to school or go to a good school or, you know, just go to college. It's not easy at all by any means. So I really don't want to make it come across as like I'm not grateful for it. But one thing I realize is I love learning. I think everybody does. I don't know. I've never met somebody who could like really say that they hate learning. I've realized that about myself over time, is that I love learning. I just like learning what I want to learn. And I think that goes for everyone. I don't think that's just me. I think everybody can agree that learning is fun when you're learning what you want to learn. And I guess that's why there are other people who can say they hate school, because perhaps they weren't learning what they'd like to. My mom had asked me if I would ever go back to college. And of course, that's up to God. Personally, I don't want to, but if God tells me to, I trust his will and I'll go. But if I were to go back to college, I don't think I would go. I don't want to say never, because you never know what can happen in life. I just said never. But I just mean, I never want to give a definite answer like, no, I'm never going back. Because you never know. You never know, like, how you could change and what new interests you can have. So I never want to say like, oh, I'm never going back. But if I were to go back to school, I would definitely probably go for film. Not really to get a degree, but if I could just take classes, oh my gosh, I'd probably go for film, sign language. I know that's random, but I would totally go for sign language. Probably, this is what's weird, right? I've never been somebody who's interested in psychology. Like the kids who are always in class, like, I love psychology, like that's the best. I never cared for psychology, but yet at the same time I did. I read a lot of books on different mental illnesses, different disorders. I'm a nerd for them. I love researching these things. I love reading these things. So I guess you could say I'm a fan of psychology, but I'm not really a fan of just reading about the brain and the frontal cortex. I don't care. I never really found those things fascinating the way other people in my psychology classes were. I was more interested in I don't know, schizophrenia and obsessive compulsive disorder and autism spectrum disorder, like things like that, I always found those very interesting to learn about, because it makes you less insensitive. I feel like it makes you less insensitive to people struggling with these things when you kind of learn about it. Obviously you'll never know it as well as the person experiencing it, but it's just very interesting to learn about, because in a way, I don't know, I feel like it makes me a little more human, or just more sensitive to people. But also I just do find these things very interesting. My skin is peeling. Again, pardon my skin. Like I said, it's been doing a thing. My eyebrows look a little crazy, but I don't really care. I'm not gonna pluck them either. I'm gonna let them live their life. But yeah, I guess that's something I never shared on my channel. I've always had this interest in, I feel like I should say psychiatry instead of psychology. I don't major in these things, so I don't want to sound like a dummy, but I love it. I'm a nerd for these things. It's so interesting. It's so fascinating to me. And it's not just with mental illness. I think I would do this with just about anything. There was a time in my life where I was intensely researching about blindness, about different types of blindness, optic nerve damage, and retinitis pigmentosa, things like that. I would just look up and like read it for hours. And I just love that stuff, man. That was a blast. That's why I love watching movies and shows like that. I love seeing if I'm able to figure out what the illness is before they say it. I don't know, man. I love learning what I like to learn. My mom has asked me a couple of times if I ever considered going to school for that type of thing. And to be honest, no. I have interest in... Did somebody text me? I've always had an interest in these things, but not pursuing them as a career. I don't think I really have that desire to do so. I just like having this information in my head for literally no reason at all. I was thinking this video was going to be like 18 minutes long, but... I feel like this is going to be a lot longer than 18 minutes, so I apologize. Do you see all this? I have a lot of hair on my face. Another thing that I've always had interest in, but I think this is something people have already known about me, is film. I think that's obvious. I've always loved film. My favorite movie is Knives Out. I think it's amazing that I actually have a favorite movie. I'm usually very indecisive. But my favorite movie is Knives Out. One, because the writing was immaculate. Immaculate. I was like, Rian Johnson, you're mine. You're mine. The production of that movie, insane. I love the way it was filmed. I love the colors. I love the set design. Everything about it was so good to me. If I remember correctly, the script really wasn't that different from the movie itself. And the reason why I chose that to be my favorite movie is because it just checked off all the boxes. Because when I watch TV or like movies, shows or movies, I have a checklist in my head and you need to check off everything. If you don't, you're losing points. My skin is looking interesting today. Can I ask a question? I want to ask a question that you can't answer in real time, unfortunately. But my question is, are you proud of who you are? And by that I mean, do you think your childhood self would be in awe or be proud of the person that you are today? Now that I'm 22, I want to say get back to me by the middle of this year on that. But if I were to answer it now, I think I am. I am, but I'm not super proud. And I don't really know how to elaborate on that. I think there are areas of me that still will obviously need improvement. Everyone does. But I just mean, I think my younger self would have a lot of questions for myself. Because there are some flaws that I still have that I've had since I was younger. Like my inability to say no. Let me actually elaborate on that. I don't want to say I only say yes. Obviously, peer pressure, you're not getting me with that. No, in Jesus' name, you're not. But in terms of like, I don't know, just like doing favors for people or just doing things that I know I don't really want to do and not knowing how to say no to that, I am still struggling with. I'm still not very good at saying no. So like that's one area I'd like to fix. I will say I am proud, my younger self would be proud of me in terms of how I handle doubt or fear. I'm definitely less fearful now than I was, honestly, than I was last year. There was so much growth that already happened in 2021, which is good because my vision board says it's the year of growth and execution. So there's got to be some growth or that vision board is obsolete. I don't think I am entirely the person my younger self has always wanted me to be, but I think I'm working towards that. And honestly, that's still worthy of applause in my head. Sometimes I wonder if I were to write down who I want myself to be, if I write that out and I can just see it, will it be easier to accomplish? By myself? No. But I think with God's help, of course it will. But there has to be a point where you're willing to surrender yourself to God, to allow him to mold you into the person he wants you to be. It's important that you're becoming who he wants you to be. Because sometimes we shoot really low for ourselves. Sometimes we don't really think that we can become who we truly should be becoming. And I think God sets the standard a lot higher on us than we do. And that's a good thing. God sees more in us than we see in ourselves. So I guess my goal isn't to become the person my younger self wants me to be, but become the person God wants me to be. And either way, my younger self is going to be in awe. This is where we're at. This was fun. I had a fun time. My makeup literally looks the same every time I do it. But anyway, thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to catch you guys whenever I catch you guys. But that's about it. If you enjoy these videos where I'm literally just talking about whatever, let me know. If you don't, you're probably gonna get it anyway. So I will see you guys some other time. Okay, bye.